Hey everyone, I'm going to show you how to negotiate the best car lease of your life. Why am I doing this? I find myself routinely talking to friends all the time when they want to lease a car and they're asking for tips and pointers so that they can get the best possible deal. I figured I might as well put everything that I know in a presentation and make it shareable for everybody to see. Understanding the breakdown of a lease is not difficult. I'm going to show you all you need to know so that you are equipped with everything you need to begin negotiating. What I'm not going to do is debate whether or not leasing is better than buying or vice versa. That's a entirely different debate. That might be fun to one day do a video and play devil's advocate. You can argue both sides for hours. This is strictly for people that have decided they want to lease and they want to get a very good deal. Rule number one, you play your game or they will play theirs. Know your numbers. You have to take control of the conversation. They will judge you on your first appearance and how you approach them, and they will know immediately whether you understand what you're talking about or you don't. They have a script and you will not be able to beat them at their own game. Best case scenario, you will waste both of your times. Worst case, you needlessly pay more than you should have. They're going to ask you, repeatedly, they're going to ask you, what payment are you comfortable with? Do not answer that question. If you answer it, it's game over. You lost. Do your research beforehand to get an understanding of what that car is going for in your area. The price you negotiate will determine how good of a deal you received. Know what the money factor and the residual is. These are specific to your area. Where to begin? Before you even contact them, you're going to have to know what the money factor, which is the financing charge, is supposed to be. It's going to be in a decimal form. Simply you multiply that by 2,400 and you're going to get the equivalent in the APR. You have to know what the residual is. This is not negotiable and is predetermined value of the car at the end of the lease. It is also the price you can purchase the car for at the end of the lease. You should know what incentives are out there for your targeted car. You should also know what people around you are paying for the exact car. You're going to obviously want to target the lower end of the scale. Where to get your information? The good news is you can get the money factor, residual, and incentives all from one source. Just Google search what is the money factor for an example 2021 Mazda CX-5, then click on the Edmunds forum link. You're going to need to register an account, and it's quick and easy to do so, and ask the moderators the question, provide them with the exact make, model, year, length, and allowable miles of the lease, and also your zip code. For example, what is the money factor, residual, and available incentives for 2021 Mazda CX-5 Touring Edition, front-wheel drive, 3612, which is 36 months, 12,000 miles, or you want to say 2410, 24 miles, 10,000 miles, whatever it is that you're going for. You just got to give them the exact information because what they tell you is going to be specific to what you want. And also your area. Don't forget the zip code. Now, to get a very good idea as to what price you're going to go for in your negotiation, I recommend you go to truecar.com and aim for like a great price at minimum. You want to go on the lower end of the scale. You don't want to be unrealistic. The dealer's unlikely going to be willing to lose money on the deal. They're going to want to make money. You're going to want to save money. Try to get it like just above where they make profit so that they're willing to do it, and something that shows that you did your research and you're not going to go for some outrageous price that they're going to shoot down. Once you have the information, once you do your homework and you know the residual, the money factor, the incentives, and the targeted price, and your local sales tax, you can plug in the numbers in an easily obtainable free auto lease calculator app and get a very good estimate as to what your payments will look like. You're probably not going to get it exact. There are so many other fees involved that you don't know, but you're going to get really close with this information. So you don't really need them to keep coming back to you at what my price will be if I do this, what I do that. You're going to know. Do your calculations before contacting the dealer. You primarily need them to just come to an agreement with you as to what price they agree they are letting the car go for. That's pretty much all you need them for. You have the majority of the information on your own. You just need an agreement with them on what price they're going to sell it to you for. Contacting the dealer. Send a message to the dealer and put everything you know on the table. For example, I know that the money factor on XYZ car is 0.00032 and the residual is 19,200. If the selling price can be below $25,000, I'm ready to lease. This establishes a few things right from the start. It shows that you did your due diligence and cannot easily be taken advantage of with the common sales tactics. Show that you are serious and be serious. If you are offered the price that you want, don't try to get them to go lower. They will be a lot more willing to make a little less on the car if it's a guaranteed sale, which doesn't take up hours of their time in a back and forth with an uncertain outcome. If they think you're just a tire kicker and you're just going to constantly keep going in lower, they're going to stop playing with you. It's going to be a waste of time for everybody at that point. Your goal is to walk away with a good lease. What not to do. Do not answer questions about what monthly payment you are comfortable with. It becomes very easy for them to move numbers around to get your stated payment while actually giving you a horrible deal in the big picture. The monthly payment alone isn't what determines whether or not you got a good lease. There are people that spent a ton of money in the down payments to get that payment. Overall, they ended up paying a lot more than they would have if they just paid a higher payment. That's not how you negotiate, and if you start negotiating that way, it's not going to end up well for you. Do not put anything down on top of the required tax, registration, first month's payment. Those are the certain required things that you have to put down. Don't put anything additional down. Adding anything additional down is not going to get you a better deal. And if you happen to wreck the car, insurance is going to pay the company the value of the car, and you're going to be out with regards to what you put down. You lost it. If the car gets totaled on your way out, you lost whatever you put down. Don't put any additional down. It's also going to make it difficult for you to even determine whether or not you got a good deal. Up to this point, I've told you everything you need to know to set yourself up to get a good lease deal and to negotiate. If you want to keep going, I can dive deeper into what's involved in the structure of the payment, the calculations. So I'm calling this the bonus material, the calculation. There really is no magic behind what determines your monthly payment. It is essentially the depreciation plus the finance charge. Depreciation is the amount you financed, which is the capitalized cost, minus residual value. If you divide this number by the number of months your lease is for, that is the portion of your lease that is just depreciation. The finance charge is the amount you financed added to the residual value multiplied by the money factor. You read that correctly. You are paying the finance charges on both the depreciation and the residual. The formula is capitalized cost plus residual value multiplied by the money factor. The lower the amount financed, the less depreciation you pay. You have control over this, and you should strive to negotiate the lowest reasonable price for the car. Residual value is set in stone, but varies per factors including region, agreed miles, length of lease, and make and model of the vehicle. It is what the manufacturer thinks the car will be worth at the end of the lease. Certain cars depreciate less than others, therefore are better candidates for leasing. If an automaker wants to get rid of inventory, they can artificially boost the residual value so that the lease is more tempting. If you keep the car in good condition, your goal should be to get it appraised months prior to the end of your lease. CarMax is a good place to take it to get an idea of what it's worth. Even if they offer you $1 more than the payoff, it's worth doing it. You will avoid a disposition or end of lease fee. You can also check on Kelley Blue Book, get an instant cash offer. Yes, you could sell your lease prior to the end of the lease, and you should if it's profitable to do so. For instance, if you have 36,000 allowable miles over 3 years and you only drove 25,000, they're not going to reward you for driving less. In fact, they're still going to charge you the disposition fee or whatever they're going to charge you in the end. Everything goes as would have been regardless. Your goal is to try to sell the car before the lease is due and make something out of it. If you have equity, CarMax or whoever you sell it to would cut out a separate check to you for your balance, and they will pay the remaining balance off. If you have driven less than allowable miles and your car is in good condition, this could be a very lucrative decision. That's all I have for this presentation. If you like what you've seen, if it's brought value to you, if you feel better equipped to make a negotiation like this, subscribe, and I'll keep making more. Take care, everyone.